I'm Sam from Oxygen Tech, and today we're going to have a quick look at functions in Dart.
Okay, so we're starting off in dartpad.dev where we're going to have a quick look at functions. So first, let's say new Dart snippet. So we've got a bit of code. Let's just get rid of the for loop. So we have the main function. So let's just start off by looking at this. This is a function. So the main function is where a program starts. So the way this is made up, the anatomy of a function, we have first the return type, which in this case is void, meaning it doesn't return anything. We have the name of the function, which in this case is main. In these parentheses, we can take parameters. So that might be a value that's given to the function that the function can then manipulate and return in a different form, or it can manipulate the initial version of that value. And then inside the curly brackets is the body of the function where we tell it what to do. So if we just wrote print hello, that is the action that it's taking that happens in between the curly braces, which is the body of the function, the scope of the function. So I just want to write a few quick examples of functions. So let's pretend we have a game. So we have a variable called score. We're going to set it to 0 initially, and another variable called high score, which will initially be 0 as well. So we want to be able to manipulate these variables. So one of the things we might want to be able to do is to increment the score. So the first function we're going to write, it has a return type of void, which means it returns nothing, but it will manipulate a value. So let's call it increment. It doesn't take anything in the parentheses, which means it has no parameters. And all we do is take the value of score and increment it by 1. So if we print initial score, and then we increment. So that's how we call the function. Just call the name of the function and the parentheses. If it takes any parameters, this is where you put them in. And then we'll print score again. So what should happen is the score should be 0 initially, and then it should increment by 1, and then it should be printed as 1 once it loads. There we go, initial score 0, incremented score is 1. So that's a basic function with no return type and no parameters. So let's try another one. Let's say another one with a return type of void, which means it returns nothing. Let's say record high score. And this one does take a parameter, which will be score. So I just want to note this is not the same as this. So let's just change this to score input so you can tell the difference. All right, so all we're going to do here is high score equals score input. Okay, so if we write initial high score, be high score, and once we've incremented, let's get rid of that. We want to call the function record high score, and as an input, it needs the current score. So we'll put score. So this will be the score after it's incremented. And then we print high score to see what the new high score is. So what it's doing here is taking the score of 0, it's incrementing it by 1, then it's recording the high score, which is now becomes 1, and then printing the high score. So initial score was 0, the score was incremented to 1, the initial high score was 0, and then the high score was recorded as the score. So here we wrote record high score as the current score, which at the time was 1, and that makes the high score 1. All right, so the third example, we might use these, so let's get rid of them for a second. With a return type, so if we say string is the return type we want here. Let's just say something simple, return name, and it will take an input, a parameter of name, open the brackets, and all it's going to do is return the value of name. So if we say we want to make a new variable called string my name equals return name, and as an input it's going to put Sam, and then we can print my name. So as you can see, what's happening here, we've declared this function which returns a string. The title of the function is return name. The parameter we take is a value called name of type string. The action in the body of the function is to return the name that was given. So we made a new variable here called my name, and we assigned it the return value of the function. So we wrote return name Sam, and that just means that my name is assigned the value of Sam. Obviously there could be an easier way to do this, but this is just to demonstrate how functions work. And then print is also a function that we're calling here, and we're printing my name, which is Sam. So that's just a quick overview of functions. The reason this one's been so short is because I'm going to do another video on building command line applications with Dart, which is going to be significantly longer. So I just wanted to quickly introduce functions before I get to that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you shortly.